So there is a witness apparently in the Benghazi attack, and he's a diplomat in the U.S. government. I think he's pretty credible. And so, here we go. We're right back in the middle of Benghazi and the controversy surrounding it. His name is Gregory Higgs, and he apparently already testified before going tomorrow in public, and Face the Nation on CBS got a hold of some of his testimony, and here's Bob Schieffer reading it.
Hicks, I thought it was a terrorist attack from the get-go. I think everybody in the mission thought it was a terrorist attack from the beginning. Question, did you ever have any indication that there was a protest, a popular protest outside the mission in Benghazi? Greg Hicks, no question. And if there was such a protest, would that have been reported? Hicks, absolutely. For there to have been a demonstration on Chris Stevens' front door and him not to have reported it is unbelievable.
All right, now he's the former deputy chief in Libya for us. So he, of course, has some information that we did not know before. Now, none of this is surprising to me, because when the administration came out and Susan Rice went on the Sunday talk shows, including Face the Nation, and said that, well, we just thought that it was a protest in front of Chris Stevens' house and not necessarily a terrorist attack, I couldn't believe it at the time. I thought that that was very curious and contradicted what was being said elsewhere, including by the president of Libya and including by common sense, that you don't normally show up at a protest with RPGs. This was a well-coordinated attack. And I think the reason that the administration was doing that, honestly, is because they're so used to lying. I don't mean specifically this administration. I mean all the administrations. The government almost always, in the midst of explaining something, in the beginning, lies about it so that they can get the propaganda they want out there when everybody's paying attention. And then they'll do a retraction 2 weeks later, which all the newspapers will bury on page 827, and almost none of the TV stations will report. For example, when we killed bin Laden in that raid. Oh my God, bin Laden hid behind his wife. Ha ha, loser, coward, weakling. Turns out, 2 weeks later, he didn't really hide behind his wife. Okay. There is a helicopter attack, and they take down one of our helicopters in Afghanistan. No, they didn't take it down. It was just inclement weather. It was just a bird went in there. Nope, totally fine. Ha ha, those rebels, those Taliban, whoever we're fighting, they suck. They can never do this. 2 weeks later, yeah, they shot down the helicopter. Okay, this is what the government's been doing for such a long time. What happened in this case is that the Republicans objected. So I feel like the Obama administration was probably like, whoa, I don't get it. I thought we'd agreed to lie on all this stuff. But now in this case, they were lying to help their political cause. Remember, it was right before the election, and they didn't want to seem like they had bungled an attack that might be considered a terrorist attack. So let's hear more from what Greg Hicks said about this.
Now, here is what Mr. Hicks said about Secretary Rice's answer that morning. He said, the net impact of what has transpired is the spokesperson of the most powerful country in the world has basically said that the president of Libya is either a liar or doesn't know what he's talking about. The impact of that is immeasurable. Magharif has just lost face in front of not only his own people, but the world. My jaw hit the floor as I watched this. I've never been as embarrassed in my life, in my career, as on that day. I never reported a demonstration. I reported an attack on the consulate. Chris's last report, if you want to say his final report, is, Greg, we are under attack. It is jaw-dropping. That, to me, how that came to be.
The only part that I disagree with Hicks on is that it's jaw-dropping. I mean, how long have you been in government? You don't know they lie all the time, especially in a big case like this? So, yeah. Look, and I'll be honest with you, I'm proud that I called it right away. I mean, when Susan Rice went out there, I remember saying it on current television, and I said it here. I said, I don't believe her. I think that makes no sense that it was a demonstration and that, oh, look at this RPG I happen to bring, and look at how we came in droves and in different patterns that was clearly discernible and pre-planned. That makes no sense whatsoever. So Greg Hicks had two more things to say. He was talking about how we could have sent in planes with a couple of more troops. He said they were told not to board the flight, so they missed it. But this is where Hicks starts to get a little questionable, because everybody acknowledges that that flight that he's referring to that would have come in with a couple of more soldiers, actually left after the Ambassador Stevens had already been killed. So I don't know what kind of help they could have done. And he says that the U.S. should have flown a plane over the compound because it might have scared the Libyans. He said, quote, "I believe the Libyans would have split. They would have been scared to death that we would have gotten a laser on them and killed them." Could be right. He could be wrong about that. Now, of course, the Republicans will be outraged about all of this. Partly, I agree with them. On the other hand, these are the same guys who, when Bush refused to send in 5,000 U.S. troops already in Afghanistan when we had Osama bin Laden cornered in Tora Bora, said nothing. That's part of the thing that frustrates me. Should they go after Obama on this? Yes, right? But why is the game always so tilted? So when President Obama does, something wrong here, and I think basically what they were doing was trying to cover it up a little bit. Now, by the way, one other important factor here. Afterwards, the State Department immediately came in and did a report on this, internal review, and it was scathing. They said this was terrible and it was unacceptable, etc., right? So it's not like they're trying to cover it up anymore. It's wrong. I've said it's wrong. You take whatever consequences you want. But when Bush doesn't send in 5,000 guys, when we had bin Laden in Afghanistan, why was that not the largest congressional hearings you've ever seen? Because we have an unbalanced playing field here. A Democrat does something a little wrong, and the Republicans go ballistic, nuclear over it. And the Republican does something grotesquely wrong, the Democrats shut up and don't say anything. It's so frustrating. But here, they want to pound Obama on it. Have at it, Hoss. I think that they lied on purpose, and they should suffer the political consequences.